Hey class, welcome to week 3. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this is the 3rd week that we've been doing this online. I've had lots of fun, but I do miss you guys so much. And I wish we could be doing this in the classroom. But here we are, and I'm excited. So today we are talking about solving equations with integers. So we've solved equations before. Remember, we had the letters and you had to substitute. You had to find out what those letters were by subtracting to the other side and all of that. So today we're doing it, but we're also including negatives. So here's what I'm going to do. There are 2 here that aren't from your worksheet. They're from the extra resources. And then I'm going to do a couple that are from your worksheet, and I'll tell you which ones those are, okay? All right, so first, the way that you're always going to do it is you have to get the variable alone. So if you look, we have t plus 8 equals negative 20. Okay, so what you're going to end up doing, you have to get it alone, you have to move this over. And you have to do the opposite of whatever sign is there. So I have my t, if I have plus 8, to cancel it out, what would cancel out a positive 8? A negative 8. So I want to do t plus 8 minus 8. And then I still have my negative 20, and whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So then I have negative 20 minus 8. Okay, so remember, the 2 cancel each other out. Those go away. I'm left with t on the one side, and then I have negative 20 minus 8. As we know from your subtraction, if it's negative 20 minus just regular 8, you just go backwards on the timeline, or I'm sorry, on the number line, and it's negative 28. So in this equation, t equals negative 28. Okay, so let's look at number 2. This one's a little more complicated. And I'm actually going to use a couple different colors so you can see the things that I'm adding, that I'm doing different. So I have b minus a negative 15. So the first thing I want to notice is that minus a negative really means I'm going to be adding. Okay? I'm really going to be adding the 15. So if I want to get it alone, I have b, and then this is the plus 15. What's the opposite of positive 15? Negative 15. So then you're going to go minus 15. And I still have my 25, but remember, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I'm still going to say minus 15. Okay? Makes sense? These 2 cancel each other out. I am left with b that hasn't moved. And then 25 minus 15 is 10. So b equals positive 10. All right? I'm going to do a couple more, so give me 1 second while I write those out. Sorry. So I'm going to do 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. Okay? So let's look at these now. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to go in that order. So 1, we have y minus negative 6 equals 6. So remember, the first thing you notice is that minus a negative really means you're going to be adding it. So y plus 6, to get rid of a positive 6, what do I have to do? To subtract 6. Minus 6 equals negative 6. But again, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So I still have negative 6 minus 6. All right? These 2 cancel out. And I am left with y equals negative 6 minus 6. So you're going further back on the number line. What does that equal? Negative 12. Ta-da! Your answer is negative 12. Okay? Moving on to number 2. This one is a little different. It has division. So the t is on the bottom. Weird, right? In order to get rid of that, what you'll have to do, there's a couple of ways to do this. The way I'm going to show you is by multiplying the t and then dividing the 8. So if this is division, the opposite of it is going to be multiplication. So I'm going to do negative 80 over t times t over 1 equals 8 times t, okay? So that means that these two cancel each other out. And what I'm left with is negative 80 equals 8t. Now I need to still get the t alone, right? So then what you're going to do is you're going to do divide by 8. These two cancel each other out. 80 divided by 8 is 10. You have one negative, one positive, so your answer is negative. Negative 10. Okay? We'll come back to that one in a moment. I'll add a different video about another way that you can do it, but think about this way first. All right, number 3, you have multiplication. So in order to get this w alone, if I have negative 4 times w, what do I have to do? I have to divide by negative 4. Divide by negative 4. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Okay? So now I am left with w, because these two negatives cancel each other out. The two negative 4s. I have negative 80 divided by negative 4. 80 divided by 4 is 20. And two negatives mean that your answer is positive. So your answer is going to be positive 20. Okay? And finally, number 4. It looks a lot like the one I did before. It looks a lot like number 1. Okay? So I have u minus negative 96 equals 2. So again, minus a negative really means it's going to be addition. So in order to do that, I have to do u plus 96. The opposite of that to cancel it out is minus 96. Sorry if you cannot see, I'm doing my best. And then 2 minus 96. All right? So these two cancel each other out. You're left with u equals 2 minus 96, or you could say negative 96 plus 2. Either way, you're going backwards. If you do it this way, you're going backwards, or you start at negative 96 and you go to the right. It ends up as negative 94. Okay? I'll leave this up for just a second so you can see it. Okay? If you have any questions, please be sure to let me know. I know that this is a little complicated, so please be sure to let me know as our next lesson builds off of this, okay?